cameras on.
Yeah, I was waiting for Stacy. Is he ready to go?
Coach Belichick is about to begin. I'll ask anyone on this call to raise a hand if they want to ask a question. We have one hand raised.
Okay. Well, I'll start with just how honored I am to have worn the patch today for Fritz Pollard. The criteria that they talked about was somebody who had overcome discrimination and racism, and certainly Fritz Pollard fits into that category. So what he did, the courage that he showed as a player in the NFL, and then later as a player coach, and then later as when he left the NFL, and then after the NFL banned all black players, and I think it was 1934, he continued to work with professional football teams, all black teams, and have them compete, and they did very well. They just weren't in the National Football League. So really honored to have worn this today, and appreciate the opportunity to recognize Fritz Pollard for all he's done, and what now continues as an award that's given out, and recognition that's given out for people that have done things along the lines of what he represented and what he worked so hard for. So, as far as the game, it's always good to get the first one, get the first win under your belt. I thought we got good contributions from all three units, and we competed well. Thought the players were in good condition. Didn't think conditioning was a big factor for us. So that's a credit to their hard work, and we stepped up and made some big plays when we needed to throughout the game. Had a couple of tough calls there that didn't go our way, that we had to overcome, but we did that, and the 3 turnovers, and running the ball as effectively as we did, and then coming back and passing the ball after we had run it, that was a good balance that we struck there. So it's like I said, good to get off to a good start, but tough week this week with Seattle, so we're gonna have to turn the page pretty quickly here and move on. But a lot of credit, really all the credit goes to the players, and the coaches did a good job. It was a game that had some adjustments in it. Obviously, neither team had seen each other this year, and so working out things during the game that came up either on the sideline, and players making adjustments to different looks that came up on the field and so forth. I thought that the players really handled that well, and as did the staff. So, after all of what we've been through for the last, whatever it's been, however many months, it's good to actually get out on the field and coach and play. The environment was different than what it's ever been before, but the opportunity to get out there and play and compete was good. So proud of the way these guys have handled everything. This is a great organization, and great group of players and coaches that I'm proud to be part of. They've really done a good job.
I'm going to open up for some questions. Tara Sullivan, followed by Alan Siegel.
Thank you, Stacey. Bill, would you mind speaking just specifically to your impressions of Cam, his debut with your team? Obviously, he ran and passed well, and I wanted to ask you specifically of that moment where, on the second touchdown, rather than celebrated himself, he handed the ball to David Andrews for a spike and said to David, you spike it. Just what that said about him, if anything, to you, but just an overall review of his play today.
Yeah, well, Cam's done great for us. I didn't see the play you're referring to, but he's very, very unselfish player. He's a great teammate. He's earned everybody's respect, really daily. He just continues to do everything that he can to help our team, and that's really all you can ask from anyone. And he continually does that, puts himself last and puts the team first. So I think it's he's done a tremendous job there. I thought he played well today. he hit a lot of passes. He ran the ball well. He led the team. He made some good checks and adjustments. And so, I thought that he did a good job. I mean, look, there's room for improvement from all of us. So, I'm not saying it was, it was the best executed game in the history of football, but we did some good things today in all three phases of the game. We're proud of that, and we'll go back to work on the things that we need to do better. But I thought I did a good job for us.
Next question, Alan Siegel, followed by Max Rulo.
Thanks, Stacy. Bill, you always talk about things that about don't beat yourselves. And this afternoon, you only had 3 penalties. They were all passing interference penalties. Did you really harp on and focus on things coming down the stretch here these last couple of weeks before game 1 of control the things that you could control, because there was a lot of cohesion that did not cause penalties, and other times we've seen that. So lack of penalties really helped you today.
Yeah, it does. It always does. I mean, that's one of the things that that when you make mistakes that are unforced mistakes, it obviously just gives your opponents extra opportunities and free yards and that kind of thing. It's really not. I mean, we never want to do that. There were a couple of close calls on the penalties. I'm not sure. It looked like they were very close, and that's football. You're going to get some of those, and you're not going to get some. But I think it's the ones you're referring to: the false starts, the too many men on the field, the lining up off sides, illegal motion, all those kind of unforced errors that you just can't afford. It just gives your opponents too many opportunities, and so we gotta. We obviously always harped on those, but the players did a great job of staying focused and concentrating. Nobody's been able to play 60 minutes of football this year, but they went out and did it and executed well at the end, on both sides of the ball and in the kicking game. So that's again a real credit to the players. But yeah, certainly playing penalty free or with minimal penalties is that's always one of our goals, and so glad we were able to do that today. Game got a little chippy at times, and we didn't have any retaliation or personal foul penalties. So the guys kept their poise there, in a couple of those situations near the end of the game.
Thanks, Bill.
You're welcome.
Next question, Max Rulo.
Hey, Bill. Hey, so we saw quite a few defensive backs play a big role in today's game. Just wanted to get your thoughts on how you feel they performed and executed their various assignments throughout the course of the game.
Well, we played a lot of people on defense, period. And you're right, we did a lot of defensive backs. I think we had 11 active for the game. So we know that Miami was capable of basically putting 4 receivers out on the field on a lot of their snaps, which they did with Gesicki and then the other 3 receivers. So we're able to match up and also rotate through there so that we could keep everybody fresh and so I thought defensively, I mean, it's a lot better than the 27 points we gave up last year to them. So we played more competitively there, and had we not giving up a couple of tough plays there at the end of the half, and then the 4th and 1, we make the play on that and get called for interference. So we could have had a little better day than we did, but overall, holding an explosive team like that to 10 points is that's a pretty good day's work. Plus to get 3 turnovers out of it, from the defensive backs, that's good. And I'd just say on that, really, take my hat off to JC. I thought JC, really competed well today. He showed a lot of mental toughness and really competitiveness in the game. And then, for him to make that play at the end to seal the win, well, along with the run that we had there to get the first down, to run out the clock. But the interception that JC had in the end zone, I thought he just showed a lot of mental toughness and high level of competitiveness in today's game. So, I thought that, I just wanted to personally congratulate him for that, because it was good.
Craig Bedard, followed by Ian Steele.
Hey, Bill. It looked like you guys took the field and wanted to be physical in the running game. more than any other thing, was that hard to gauge on how exactly that was going to go in this game, and how impressed were you with the ability of the guys to be physical up front?
Yeah, I mean, we had a lot of production in the running game in a number of different ways, but it was pretty balanced. We got the ball outside, we got it inside. We had multiple ball carriers, Julian, Cam, the backs, and so forth. So it was a good balance, and the execution was good. Our offensive line, I thought played well. Against a physical front. Miami's got some big, strong players in there, and they added a couple of guys, from the Patriots last year, and signed the defensive ends as free agents. So, they've upgraded their roster there, but I thought we played, very competitively against them.
Next question, Ian Steele, followed by Bob Sosi.
Thanks, Stacey. Bill, you are obviously someone who has seen a lot of football in your day, been involved in a lot of games. What was the atmosphere like in the stadium without fans there? Can you compare it to anything else that you've experienced in your football life?
Practice.
But nothing in terms of a game. What was your what were your thoughts on the atmosphere overall? Was it strange, obviously?
It's like scrimmaging the Titans or scrimmaging Detroit or scrimmaging the teams that we scrimmage. There are a few fans there, but, basically there's no fans there. It's just the competition, and there's some, energy from your teammates and your own energy. So that is what it is. But, that's what it's like out there in practice. There's no fans in practice either.
Next question, Bob Sosi, followed by Jim McBride.
Thank you, Stacey. Bill, 6 for 11 today on 3rd and 4th downs, 3 for 4 in the red zone. Those two areas, how pleased are you with the kind of production you got, and how much of it, too, is related to that balance you just spoke about? I think 8 players overall with 25-plus yards of total offense today.
Yeah, no, that balance is good, and those are the downs you got to produce on. And honestly, we should have been better than that. But yeah, those are key downs to be able to stay on the field and be able to get the ball in the end zone. And so we'll just keep working on those things, and we'll be challenged on them every week. But we were successful doing it today, and ultimately that really helped us win the game.
Jim McBride, followed by Doug Hyde.
Hi, Coach. I wanted to ask you if that helped to answer so quickly.
Yeah, it was. I thought, as usual, Josh called a great game. He put our players, offensive players, in great positions to make plays, and we had a high level of execution from all the units offensively. So, but that was a big drive. Got started with Julian's run and the 4th down run. So we had a number of key plays in that drive, but. That was a big answer right there, to take it from 14-11 to 21-11. So, that was ultimately that was a key sequence in the game, along with the interception, and then running out the clock there on, with less than 2 minutes to go in the game. Those are some of the real critical situations in the game.
And we'll make this one the last question, Doug Hyde.
Hey, Bill, looked like Chase Winovich played a bigger role in this game than we saw him for most of last season. What did he do over training camp to show that he could play a little bit more on early downs?
Yeah, I think Chase has been a good player for us. That he played well last year. We had some other experienced players last year with Kyle and Jamie. So there's just some other players playing ahead of him now. He's the most experienced player, along with John Simon. That shifted quickly in a year, but Chase has done a good job for us on all downs. When he played last year, he was productive on a per play basis, and I thought he showed that today. But Chase has got good energy, he's in good condition, he's got good stamina, he's got speed, he's got power, and he's a very instinctive player. So I would expect him to be out on the field a good part of the time in all games. All right. Thank you. Thanks very much.
Everyone.
Okay.